So now we'll move along to the sample that I put up. Where is it? There it is. Okay. I tried putting this on Blackboard actually, and it didn't take the annotations at all. It did show the highlights, so I'll post it again if you think it'll be helpful to you. You'll have this up on Blackboard. I'll call it the sample paper. But you'll notice at the top here, this is the journal that it's from, the journal number, the version, the year, and the page numbers. This all goes into your references page if you're using this kind of thing for your research paper. By the way, on this sample, the blue is APA stuff, the yellow is scientific paper stuff. So here's the abstract. Okay, this one's called Attitudes of College Students Enrolled in 2-Year Healthcare Programs Towards Online Learning. And I picked this one for several reasons. We're all in an online class, obviously. Most of the students in this class, I think, are enrolled in a healthcare program, or about half, and 2-year program, so I couldn't resist. Here's the abstract. They define a couple terms that are going to come up later, so we have to point these out. Practical nursing, which they call PN, and pharmacy tech, which they call PT. So later when you see PN and PT, you'll know what that means. This is from Canada, by the way, so terminology is a bit different. There's your intro. Remember, you have to point out the motivation and the need. Here's APA stuff. In-text citations in MLA and APA are very similar. You know, remember an in-text citation goes at the end of a sentence usually, or at the end of a paragraph inside parentheses. In this case, you have the authors and the year. Author, year, author's, year, over and over again. The year is crucial in APA. It's all about the dates. This is a long one. Now the purpose. The purpose of this study, oops, I got in the way. Purpose of this study was to determine the opinion and attitudes of college students towards online learning and provide real-time classroom relevant information on the appropriate construction of an online course in a college environment, which is why I'm interested in this one as well. Notice they're not studying how effective the course was, they're studying attitudes and opinions from the students, so they give them a questionnaire. Here's another thing they didn't define yet. F2F, which you may know what that means. It means face-to-face, which is what traditional education is, as opposed to online education. Okay. Context. The background. Here's a lot more. In-text citations, authors and year, authors and year. Here's one of the problems why they did the study in the first place. I highlighted a lot of the terms in this, the words in this paragraph to show the current attitudes of students towards online learning. There's resistance. It's intimidating. You might be agreeing with some of this right now. It's formidable and challenging, and there's resistance again. There's tremendous time requirement, which a lot of people don't expect actually when they take an online class. If this is your first class, beware of that. Another reason for the study, in order to reduce potential anxiety levels associated with online learning, it is essential that student learning preferences be taken into account during the course design process so that students can become comfortable. That was the goal of this paper, of this study. Since there is a trend among colleges to increase online course quotas, guidelines and strategies should be established that can enhance the acceptance of online courses within the institution. So this one goes out to the institutions running these things. And then, methods. Scroll down. Here's what they did. 3 surveys were conducted using 2 separate first-term student groups. Surveys probed student attitudes and perceptions toward online learning. The 3 surveys were administered at the beginning of the course, midway through the course, and to the end of the course, which makes sense because people's attitudes are going to change as the course moves along. Actually, if you scroll down more, it shows you all the questions that they asked them. And they base their answers on the results of these questions. Okay, here's the results. This is what they found. It's interesting. I don't know statistics, so you'll have to excuse me reading these numbers wrong probably. I don't understand all this stuff. Anyway, required student preparation prior to course delivery. One of the things they found was this. Most surveyed students did not know that the course was offered online. That's bad marketing, I think. Plus or minus must be some kind of variable. Among all surveyed students from both terms, 79% found attending the course-specific orientation session useful. That's pretty significant. You know, almost 80% of the students, a course-specific orientation. Maybe I should have to work one of those into some of my classes. When surveyed about accessibility, 85% of all surveyed students enjoyed accessing the modules and their grades online with the click of the mouse and completing the coursework at their own pace. That's the upside of online classes, as I'm sure you know. Doing it at your own pace is important. I did have an email from someone asking if they had to be online at a certain time, and no, the whole point of an online class is that you don't have to be online at a certain time. I don't have online chat. It's what they call asynchronous. It's up to you. As long as you get the work done within the time span of the particular module, you're good. I can work on it 2 in the morning, whatever part of the world you're in. Okay. Among all students surveyed from one term only, 65% listened to the voiceover PowerPoint components in the learning modules. In addition, results from one term only indicated that 61.9% felt that the presence of instructor videos in addition to voiceover would enhance their learning experiences. I'm not used to doing videos in my online classes. This is new for me. I think it's important, so it's the reason why I'm doing it. Okay. Among all surveyed students from 2 terms, 64% felt more comfortable about taking quizzes online after completing their first few online. So as the course went along, people started to feel more comfortable, which makes sense. When surveyed at the beginning of the course, 54% of all students from both terms indicated they would take the pharmacy math course again. I don't know how that changed by the end of the semester. It'd be interesting to find out. A statistically significant component of students surveyed from both terms preferred a hybrid format. So do I, actually. That's the way I do almost all my classes that are not online. In fact, all of them, even when they're not online. Even my face-to-face classes have a very heavy online component. I think it's very important. A statistically significant component of all students did not like the fact that they were not able to see their instructor and colleagues during the course. I feel the same way about students. I often say it's hard for me to teach anybody if I can't see them. One of the reasons why I like to have photos on the blog and why I'm going to be posting more videos of myself, because I think it's important. Okay. By the end of the term, 68% of all students surveyed from both terms felt that the course delivery method was appropriate. Oh, that's good. Okay, a little more. Statistically significant component of all students, 89% surveyed, felt that the course content and material presented were appropriate and relevant. That's good numbers. Students from both terms agreed that participation in discussions allowed them to enhance their written abilities and gain critical appraisal skills. There's the discussion board again. Finally, among all students surveyed from both terms, 59% responded positively when asked whether they would take another online course. 59% isn't that high, but it's better than half. It's nice to see that people still like some component of a traditional education, which is my preference. Okay. Statistically significant, 86% component of second term surveyed students were comfortable with Slate. I am going to guess that Slate is their version of Blackboard, since a Blackboard and a Slate really are the same thing. So it must be the technology that they're using. 86% of surveyed students from the second term felt that prior knowledge of Slate was helping them. That makes sense. You don't want to have to try to learn the technology at the same time as you're trying to learn the course material. You're probably running into that right now. Now the discussion. General student attitudes. Okay, they move from the specific findings to general conclusions about them. Here's where they put their own opinion in what they found. Online student courses can enhance student learning. Courses must be designed with clear guidelines. It's imperative, these are recommendations, imperative for colleges to construct online courses using a clear and easy to navigate system. That's, I already figured that one out. A higher proportion of PT students did not have prior knowledge of Slate compared to PN students. One possible reason, okay, conjecture and speculation. This is where the scientist gets to put in their own 2 cents. A higher proportion of PN students attend the newer student orientation session, which is important. Students in the medical field enrolled in online courses tend to prefer an easy-to-navigate course. That's probably true for students in any field. Nobody wants to be confused. Maybe if you're a visual arts student, or I don't know. Students typically have perceived expectations about online courses. PT and PN students gain critical appraisal skills and improved written abilities through participation in the online pharmacy math course. Essentially, what happens online is students stop becoming what they call passive learners. They don't just sit and listen. They have to take control. You have to do things on your own, and that helps learning. Okay, now the conclusion. See how short this is compared to everything else. Students in both PT and PN programs did not exhibit a positive attitude toward taking an online math course and remained anxious about enrolling in it at an online course, preferring the ability to interact with their instructor and peers through the duration of the course. That's crucial, I think. This initial attitude, along with results from this study probing student attitudes towards online learning, indicated that students predominantly preferred a hybrid method of delivery. 3 cheers for that one. Another important aspect that can ensure successful completion of pharmacy math in an online form includes preparation of students. See, they're doing recommendations. After giving you what remains to be done, suggestions for further study. After they give you what they learned, they will almost always talk about what to do in the future, what someone can do with these results. Okay. Now the references, you'll notice it's not called works cited. That's 101 stuff. That's MLA. Right? In APA, it's called references. And here's what it looks like if you use one of these journals in your references page. You got the authors, the year it came out, the name of the study or article, the name of the journal, the volume and issue numbers, and then the page numbers. See, it's all here. Here it is again. Balin, RM, and Juvison, PJ, 04. Pharmacist Computer Skills and Needs Assessment Survey, the Journal of Medical Internet Research, okay, version and journal numbers, and then page numbers. Notice as well that the names of the articles themselves are just in plain type. The names of the journals themselves are in italics. So in a way, it's much simpler than MLA, or much, much simpler than Chicago if you've had to do a science paper or a history paper. So there's that. Okay, so we'll move along to the assignment for this module, and that will be ready. We'll be all set, and you'll be ready to get going.